In the Sonic Boom, Joel Beckerman discusses the different ways in which sound can influence marketing techniques, our buying behaviors, and our emotions. He starts off by discussing a situation with Chili's. He explains about the sizzling sound the fajitas make and how we all associate with that specific brand. He says we weren't the first to make them, they weren't the last, and they actually aren't the best fajitas, but it's that sound, that place they created, that memory that we associate immediately with Chili's when we hear that sizzling fajitas. And that's the premise for his entire book is how sound can connect and make you feel a certain way with a certain brand. So he also discusses another example, Mr. Softy, how when you hear that song, it's again not the best ice cream, but because of that emotional connection and the memory that sound creates in our minds, we immediately need it. We have to go right back to it, and we know exactly what it is. There are many articles that discuss that as well, such as one in the Journal of Marketing Communication, that sound really creates that trigger of our memory. It brings you back to a specific place in time. It makes you feel the way you felt before. Another article that discusses this is Psychology Today, that how much that sound really is associated with our emotions, and that if you talk to someone in a traumatic event or a big experience in their life, they're really going to tell you about the sounds and how it made them feel in accordance with those sounds. And I definitely agree with this point wholeheartedly, because as a psychology major in my undergraduate career, we did discuss a lot how much sound and different senses, but especially sound, created with our memories and our emotions. If you think of someone in the military that has PTSD, if they had been near open fire, they hear a loud or similar noise, it can actually bring them right back into that exact place. It brings them back to that memory, those exact feelings they had, and that's kind of a way to explain how sound really pulls those emotions and reacts to our memory to bring us back. And so he discusses you have to really have the sound make you feel something like that in order for it to trigger that memory or make that association. So certain brands like NBC, or how he discusses with AT&T, you create that anthem that really connects with the core values of the brand. Just as discussed in content marketing, it has to align with those values or the meaning of the brand or the reason for the brand. It has to have harmony between them for it to work. And so, like, you associate NBC, you hear that sound, you know exactly what it is. There's an article in the Harvard Business Review about a French airway that they wanted to enhance or amplify, just like Univision, their place in the market and differentiate from their competition. So they created that anthem, that meaning, and after they did research, they found that 92% of people could immediately recognize the brand just based on the first part of the anthem that they heard. So you also, again, you have to make an anthem, like he discusses, not a jingle, because the jingle doesn't have meaning. It has to have that real meaning that connects with your brand. Just as in horror movies, another example is that it really influences your behavior. In the Journal of Consumer Behavior, it also talks about how speed influences. So if you think of a movie, when it starts to build, that really gets you tense and ready for the next thing. But if you take it away, it really has no meaning. And that's what sound really does, and that's what he explains through the book. It creates that message. I definitely agree with this. If you watch a movie with the wrong sound, it can do the wrong thing, or like he discusses with Sonic Trash, if you have the wrong sound at the wrong time, like in the movie Gravity, where there needed to be silence, where they put sound in, it can really ruin the experience for you. Sound can make or break that experience. And he also uses sales as an example when using your tone and your pitch. As a salesperson, I have to wholeheartedly agree with that as well, because you have so much going on in content marketing and other articles that show that, you know, our attention spans are so short, and so you have to be able to target exactly what you're trying to find is important. So using your tone, your pitch really puts the emphasis on what's important. So overall, I think this book is really important for really anyone, but especially those in the fields of marketing or communication, because sound is such, using sound and these different things, such an untapped potential, and Joel really makes you aware of how much sound really influences everything around us, and I think that's what's so great about this book.